honor and privilege of being one of the MCs for this morning's program. At this time, students, I would ask that you all rise as we welcome our honored guests, community, and veterans to this morning's program. Performed by Foley Ensemble under the direction of Ms. Jeanette. Right, this time, please. At this time, it's my pleasure to call upon seniors Grace Foley and Mitchell Masiva. Both of these students are enlisted in the Minnesota National Guard. Mitchell is a private and Grace is a private first class. Mitchell and Grace will share information
Haiti, an armistice or temporary stopping of hostilities declared between the Allied nations and Germany in the First World War. Finally, what was then known as the Great War, or the War to End All Wars, was over. In 1921, today's modern Veteran Day program began at Arlington National Cemetery, including the burial of the unknown American soldier who was entombed in what is now known as the tomb of the unknown soldier. Today, in 1920, the bodies of the unknown soldiers were buried in London and Paris. The ceremonies on this day are meant to symbolize dignity and reverence for our American veterans.
Armistice Day was officially recognized by Congress in 1926 and became a national holiday in 1938. In 1954, totaling the more than 16 million who served in World War II, and nearly 6 million who served in the Korean War and War, President Eisenhower signed a bill claiming Armistice Day to now be called Veterans Day. In 1968, Congress moved Veterans Day to the 4th Monday of March. But there's still significance of our election day. Recognizing Armistice Day Today we honor and celebrate those people who continue to give up their security in order to ensure Thank you.
I call now upon Ms. Jody Martinson in the Foley High School Concert Choir to sing Madison. This song was written during the Civil War and brought music and return tax to their soldiers.
Oh
Ms. Markinson, the concert choir, and now I'll ask our drum choir members to join us. Next, we have our full FHS concert and treble choir singing Armed Forces, Pride in America. This is arranged by Clark and Gilpin. Veterans and members of the Armed Forces, during this selection, you will hear the official song of your branch. We ask that you stand throughout your specific song so that you may be recognized.
The United States Army.
Over gentle people live in a messenger, and the kids on for rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counting on to ride the boat, and the kids on for rolling along. And it's high riding, the fields to the rain. Shout out to guns loud and strong. Wherever you go, you will always know. And the kids on for rolling along.
The United States Marines.
From the halls of hundreds to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air of the sea. Our survival, right and freedom, and to be more honorably. We are proud to bring the title of United States Marines.
The United States Navy.
Anchors away, my boys.
The United States Air Force.
Choir and Miss Martinson. Give me just a minute to be able to find the seat. It is my honor now to call our keynote speaker, Captain Maggie Gregg. Captain Gregg graduated from the College of St. Benedict in 2012 and received her commission in the Fighting Saints ROTC program as a quartermaster officer. Captain Gregg deployed as a member of the 34th Combat Aviation Brigade to Kuwait in 2014 for Operation Spartan Shield. After returning to Minnesota, Captain Gregg served in several roles before being selected for command of the Headquarters Support Company in 2017. As commander of the HSC Hellcats, Captain Gregg deployed to Kuwait again in support of Operation Spartan Shield in 2018. While in Kuwait, the Hellcats provided all maintenance, mess, medical, and life support requirements to the 34th Red Bull Division Headquarters. Following this deployment in command, Captain Gregg served as the S3 Battalion Operations Officer for the 1347th Combat Sustainment Support Battalion and is currently the Executive Officer of the Fighting Saints Reserve Officer Training Corps program with the College of St. Benedict, St. John's University, and St. Cloud State University. Please help me in welcoming Captain Gregg.
Good morning. How are we? Wow, there's so many of you. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for taking time out of your class and your busy schedule and taking the opportunity to honor the veterans who have served and will continue to serve for the near future. And Mr. Kluser, thank you so much for inviting me to be here today. I especially want to thank all the veterans who are seated in front of me and surrounding us in the I'm honored to stand up here on behalf of all of you and represent all of the Fine Prison Service, and a very special happy Marine Corps birthday to the Marines out there in the formation. I'm not originally from the Foley community, but obviously given the opportunity to come to you guys today. Aren't we lucky that we are in a country that we can gather together to appreciate our veterans? Am I right? Right? Nor is it the case around the world. I've just been lucky enough to be around at a time where we get to gather together and celebrate veterans, and I just think I'm Captain Maggie Craig, and I'm a veteran. I absolutely love saying that. My family will let you know that I consider this to be our month. We get a whole month, ladies and gentlemen, if you ask me. They do know to call me in the beginning of the week of Veterans Day to wish me a happy Veterans Week, because I love this holiday. But I'll be honest with you all. Got to call it out. I didn't always feel that way. I know. It's a little weird. But I didn't always like to talk about what a big part of my life this was. It was kind of embarrassing. It's embarrassing to think about that at this time, especially standing in front of all of you right now. But let me explain that just a little bit better. So who's been to the grocery store or to Target or somewhere like that, and they, I know, oh, they're to Target, am I right? And then you've seen someone in uniform, and your mom or dad, or maybe you said the magic phrase. What's the phrase? Thank you for your service, right? That's what we do. That's what we do here. It used to make me a little uncomfortable. I'm just going to be honest with you. If I went to the store in uniform or I stopped after work to get gas, I would sometimes cringe if someone started coming near me to say thank you for your service. I would sometimes change before I would go on errands just because I didn't want to be forced, or I didn't want to be, blindsided by someone asking or someone thanking me for my service when I'm just trying to get Pop-Tarts and cottage cheese at the store. It wasn't that I'm not proud of what I've done, or that I'm not proud of the uniform I wear, but it was because I felt like I didn't deserve it. I felt uncomfortable for two main reasons. First, it made me a little uncomfortable because I didn't think I deserved it, and secondly, because I didn't feel like I should be thanked for something that I really agreed to do. So when I thought of a veteran, even while wearing the uniform, I thought of World War II veterans like my grandpa. I thought of the Greatest Generation. I thought of the people that I would see at parades, the Legion, some of the gentlemen seated in front of me. That's who I thought of. And here I was just, here I am, Miss Maggie, who just happened to go to ROTC and commission, and this is the path that I chose. And then one day, a lieutenant colonel, who I had the opportunity to know, said, Maggie, it's not about you. And unfortunately, I hear that too often in my life. I have to have that reminder every now and then that it isn't about me. But he kind of struck me with that. It's not about you. It's about us, and it's about them. Now, like I said, I'm not a stranger to that, but he went on to explain that being thanked for my service is not someone just thanking me, Maggie. They're thanking every single person who has worn this uniform before me. They're thanking everyone who they can't see, who they can't thank, and everyone in all branches of the armed forces, all of us, in one shot. I just might happen to be the one that they got to see that day. Isn't that cool? Is that cool? That's what this all stands for? So when someone took the time to thank me for my service, it was their moment to thank every single one of us here, and all of us who may answer that call someday. Holy Falcons, you might answer the call to serve someday, you don't know it yet, but they're going to be thanking you too when they thank any one of us. So when I used to shy away from things like that, now I took it as an opportunity to be that representative. I look at that thanking, I take that opportunity of being thanked for my service as not just being thanked for me, but for anyone who's worn the uniform before me. So it's not about what I've done or what I haven't done or what I don't feel I deserve. It's about what everyone else has done that's come before me and will come after me, that'll wear this uniform as a badge of honor. And I think that's pretty cool. It's not about me, it's about all of us. Let me get to that second piece. Why do I My second piece of my apprehension, why do people thank me for my service? Why does it make me feel weird? Because it's just something that I decided to do. I grew up in a community very similar to the good old Foley Falcons that was very centered in love and service and public community. So I remember when I was in high school, I learned the quote from Mother Teresa that love needs to be put in action, and that action is service. So for me, this was just part of how I put that into my action. That my service is just part of how I put that into action. So raise your hand if you've heard that quote. Anyone heard that quote before? Yeah, it's good. So the concept of service is something we've all learned from a really young age. And when I was younger, I found different ways to serve in high school, whether that be in church community or service programs, things like that. But when I got older, it just felt natural for me to find a way to serve my country. It was the right way for me to serve, and it was how I was going to take my skills and talent to give back to the country that I love so much. So why thank me for it? Couldn't figure it out. This is what I chose to do. This is what I wanted to do. So I may have missed birth, so maybe my way of service is maybe a little different than what the next person's way of serving is. Maybe it's taken me away for different periods of times in my life, and I've missed birthdays and weddings and Christmas. That was part of the deal. I signed on to that. So why thank us? That's when I realized that no one has to thank us. No one has to have a Veterans Day program at their school. No one has to take time out of their day to honor those that have served and will continue to serve. And that right there is one of the most beautiful things about this. You guys choose to thank us. People around choose to honor the veterans, choose to honor the military who serve and will serve in the future. We get a whole day where we get to be recognized for our sacrifices and what we've done. And in our service, it's not about being more or less than anyone else, or whose service is longer, or who's been in war and who was in which conflict. It's just about celebrating service. So with all that, I've got a little challenge for you guys. Are we ready? Who's up for it? You guys have tomorrow off. We've got plenty of time for a challenge. Yeah, I see it. I see the hands. Here we go. So here's my challenge to all of you seated here today. Now that we've talked about how cool it is that we get to gather today and celebrate our veterans today and on Veterans Day, how can we make this energy last? What are we going to do about it? Ready? How about we take this gratitude and we bring it into tomorrow and the next day and the next week, and we carry it out until next year? How do we make sure that we're thinking about our veterans and the people who have served, not just on Christmas and holidays and things when maybe we might see a commercial or there might be a commemorative football game? I challenge all of you to find a way to give back so that we never forget our veterans, that we never forget anyone who served. I challenge you to find a way to give back in their honor. Take that sacrifice that they've made, or that they're currently making, or that they're getting ready to make, and live it. Live that day. Find your way to give back and your way to serve. So who's started paying it forward? Right? If not, Google it, you guys. You've got tomorrow off. You've got time. So it looks like everyone's pretty familiar. So I want you to think about our military service as something that's not done for you, but what you can do to pay it forward. So how can you pay forward that service so you can serve your community? What can you do to make sure you honor the sacrifices that other people have made, not just on Veterans Day, but tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that, and next month? And never forget those who have served and who are serving, and those who will serve someday. Please don't lose sight of them. Please don't forget them because Veterans Day is over. I promise you, they might not know you, they may never meet you, but they haven't forgotten you. Not for 1 second. So take a second to thank someone today or tomorrow when you see them. Or maybe it's at the gas pump, or maybe it's in the Pop-Tart aisle at Cowards, whatever your flavor is. Take that moment to thank them, but then take that energy you have and pay it forward. Find your way to serve, find your way to give back. So as today we continue the program and we finish celebrating our veterans, I want to remind you that the real fun starts on the 12th. when you take advantage of this opportunity to serve your community, and then I get the opportunity to thank you for your service. Thank you so much, Foley kids.
Thank you, Captain Greg. We are very fortunate that you were able to join us today, and thank you for sharing your wisdom with everyone. We would like to offer you one more round of applause and gratitude for both your message. This time, we would like to recognize the veterans on staff of Foley Public Schools. Please rise as your name is called. Mr. Stuart Nelson, a regular substitute teacher. Mr. Dan Carlson, industrial technology teacher. Mr. Bob Adfelter, FHS and FIS schoolkeeper. And Officer Eric Vickstrom, school resource officer. Student, staff, veterans, and community, please join in as we all sing along with Georgian poems, Your Grand Old Flag. We will end our program this morning with taps and the retirement of colors. And I asked Clara Foss, an 8th grader at Foley Intermediate School, to come forward to read the history of taps.
Taps began as a revision to the signal for extinguished lights at the end of the day. The music for taps was conducted by the Union General Daniel Butterfield for his brigade. The 3rd Brigade, 1st Division, 5th Army Corps, Army of the Potomac, in July 1862 during the 70th run of the General. Taps is used today by the United States military. The bugle call is centered at funerals, Greek life, and memorial services.
Thank you, Clara. And I'll call on the Foley American Legion Honor Guard to return to the front and ask that everyone stand while taps is performed by Emily Lyon, an 8th grader, 11th grader at FHS. Honor Guard, red, front, forward, up. Honor Guard, up. Lighter, forward. Community, if you would remain standing, and students, you may be seated. Veterans, members of the community, students, and staff, on behalf of Mr. Cruiser and myself, I want to thank all of you for your attendance today on this very important day. After the conclusion of the program, Foley High School students, please dismiss from the top down and return to second period. Foley Intermediate students, please follow the directions of your teachers. Veterans and community, in just a moment, I would like to excuse you to process out just as you came in, and please consider joining in a short reception in the auditorium lobby. Students and staff, please join me now in honoring all those who have sacrificed to serve our country.